Iranian missiles struck 2 communities in southern Israel late Saturday, leaving buildings destroyed and dozens hurt in back-to-back attacks not far from Israel's main nuclear research center. Meanwhile, American president warned the U.S. will obliterate Iranian power plants if Iran doesn't fully open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. The development signaled the war was heading in a dangerous new direction as it entered its 4th week. Trump, facing growing pressure at home to secure the strait as oil prices continue to climb, issued the ultimatum in a social media post while spending the weekend at his Florida home. Trump said he was giving Iran 48 hours to open the critical waterway or face a fresh round of strikes. He said the U.S. would destroy various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Iran warned early Sunday that any attack on its energy facilities would trigger strikes on U.S. and Israeli energy and infrastructure assets across the region, according to a statement carried by Iran's state media and semi-official outlets, citing an Iranian military spokesperson. The Strait of Hormuz, which connects the Persian Gulf to the rest of the world's oceans, is a vital passage for the global flow of oil. Attacks on commercial ships and threats of further strikes have stopped nearly all tankers from moving oil, gas, and other goods through the waterway. That has also led to output cuts from some of the world's biggest producers, because their crude has nowhere to go. The Iranian strikes on Israel came after Tehran's main nuclear enrichment site at Natanz was hit earlier in the day. Israel's military said it was unable to intercept the missiles that hit the southern cities of Dimona and Arad, the largest located near the research center in Israel's thinly populated Negev desert. It was the first time Iranian missiles broke through Israel's air defense systems in the area surrounding the nuclear site. If the Israeli regime is unable to intercept missiles in the heavily protected Dimona area, it is operationally a sign of entering a new phase of the battle. Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said on X before news of the Arad strike spread. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said more emergency crews were being rushed to the scene. This is a very difficult evening, he said. Rescue workers reported that the direct hit on Arad caused widespread destruction across at least 10 apartment buildings, 3 of them heavily damaged and at risk of collapse. At least 64 people were taken to hospitals. Dimona sits about 20 kilometers, 12 miles west of the nuclear research center, and Arad around 35 kilometers to 22 miles to the north. Israel is widely believed to be the only Middle Eastern nation with nuclear weapons, though its leaders refuse to confirm or deny their existence. The UN nuclear watchdog said on X it had received no reports of damage to the Israeli facility or abnormal radiation levels. The war is not close to ending, Israel's army chief, General Eyal Zamir, said earlier in the day. Iran also targeted the joint UK-US Diego Garcia military base in the Indian Ocean, roughly 2,500 miles to 4,000 kilometers away. This suggested Tehran has missiles with a longer range than previously known, or that it had used its space program for an improvised launch. The US and Israel have offered shifting explanations for the war, from hoping to spark an uprising that brings down Iran's leadership, to wiping out its nuclear and missile programs and cutting off its support for armed proxy groups. There have been no signs of any uprising, while internet restrictions continue to limit the flow of information out of Iran. The war's effects are being felt well beyond the Middle East, pushing up food and fuel prices across the globe. It remains unclear how much damage Iran has suffered from the US and Israeli strikes that began on February 28th, or even who is truly running the country. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini has not appeared in public since being named to the role.